What is the better situation for Rodgers? Is it Denver or is it Green Bay?
Oh, it's Green Bay by a mile. It's not even close. I think with this whole situation, Molly, the first thing that people need to understand, and I texted Shefty about this like 15 minutes ago, Aaron cannot just get up and leave Green Bay. This has to be an agreed-upon trade between Green Bay and whoever he may potentially go to. Obviously, Denver at the key point of this conversation. That's step number one. I think the biggest question for Aaron is, does he want to go chase a Super Bowl or does he want to go chase maybe a different lifestyle and statistics? If Aaron went to Denver, he would play really, really well. He'd put up another great season statistically. I just don't think the likelihood of a Super Bowl there is anywhere close to what it would be in Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay is going to win or be the favorite in that division going into next season again. The NFC does not have any dominant team looking at next year. Tom Brady may not play. Tampa Bay is going to fall off with some of their free agents. You've got the Rams and you've got the 49ers, obviously, that are good teams, really good teams in that conference. But going to Denver is a death sentence. I mean, you're going into the division with the guy that has been in the last 4 AFC championship games in Patrick Mahomes. You're going into a division that's got Justin Herbert in it. You're going into a conference that's got a guy that is playing this weekend in the AFC Championship game in Joe Burrow. You also have going into a conference and a guy where has a quarterback that threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and lost last weekend in Josh Allen, and then a guy who won the MVP of the league 3 years ago in Lamar Jackson. So I just think the AFC, because of all their young superstar quarterbacks, if you're sitting there in your Aaron Rodgers going, where's the best chance for me to win a Super Bowl? It's not in Denver. It's more than likely in Green Bay. But I don't think it's down to just those two teams either. I think if Aaron doesn't want to play in Green Bay, it's not Denver or nobody.
Well, listen, let me say this to you. I don't disagree with you on that. I definitely think that when you look at Denver, although they've got some talent, Cortland Sutton, Fant at tight end spot, Jerry Jeudy is a wide out. Obviously, Melvin Gordon was there running the football for them. Just kid Javonte Williams wasn't too shabby as well. And obviously, their defense was definitely respectable. When you look at it from that perspective, if you got Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, I think he'd be in the mix to compete for a Super Bowl championship. I think when you look at Patrick Mahomes having to go up against him, you can't forget about Justin Herbert. We can't just summarily dismiss Derek Carr. Obviously, you look at Lamar Jackson in the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens, Joe Burrow with Cincinnati. You know, there's a lot to do, and obviously the road to prosperity seems to be considerably easier through the NFC for Aaron Rodgers than it would be through the AFC. So if he were to elect to go to Denver, on one hand, you have to respect that. But before I go to my next point, just want to apologize to the producers. I'm supposed to tease the show a little better than that, which I usually do because I was supposed to mention Jake Paul in the tease. I just forgot, y'all, because of the subject that I'm about to bring up. Dan Orlovsky didn't bring this up, and you are on top of your game. I'm not faulting you for it. I've listened to Damian Woody. I listened to Bart Scott and everybody else. I don't even give a damn about this subject right now, Dan Orlovsky, in terms of the Denver Broncos angle. I can honestly tell you right now, all joking aside, I'm pretty pissed off. And I'm going to tell you why. Nathaniel Hackett, no disrespect to him, offensive coordinator in Buffalo for 2 years, offensive coordinator in Jacksonville. When they went to the AFC Championship game, that's the last time they made a playoff appearance. And you can put Dan Orlovsky up on the screen because I want to see him when I'm saying this. And, of course, they've been in Green Bay the last several years. I understand John Elway if he's hiring this guy because that's going to get me Aaron Rodgers. I get all of that. Let me tell you what bothers me that everybody forgot to bring up. Is Nathaniel Hackett calling plays in Green Bay? He's not calling plays as far as I remember, Dan Orlovsky. Am I correct in saying that? Because you would know better than me. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur is calling plays, but I think Hackett has a big kind of say in how they design their game plan.
Fair enough. Well, who else has had that? I believe that guy is Eric Bieniemy, who's been to 4 straight AFC Championship games, back-to-back Super Bowls, with a Super Bowl championship. And this man doesn't have a head coaching job. And in some cases, he hasn't even been interviewed. So Nathaniel Hackett, okay, because if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, a legitimate argument can be made, a very profound argument. And I know the Jacksonville Jaguars was interviewing Nathaniel Hackett, and I understand what Adam Schefter said, the ultimate guru. We know he's right on the money with it. You know, they didn't want him to go to Jacksonville. They wanted him to come to Denver. But I surmise they believe it exponentially improves their chances of getting Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
If they were to hire Hackett. That's jacked up, bro. When you consider a guy like Eric Bieniemy that's been to 4 straight conference championship games, back-to-back Super Bowls, and you can't get a job. And I hate this for Nathaniel Hackett because, ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Hackett has a resume. As a black man that points out these kind of things, this kind of inequities when they take place, I want to make sure Nathaniel Hackett knows this is nothing against him. He has a resume, ladies and gentlemen. You work in Buffalo, you work in Jacksonville, you work in Green Bay, all as an offensive coordinator. You have a resume that says you are a qualified candidate for a head coaching job in the National Football League. This is no knock against him whatsoever. But if Aaron Rodgers ends up going to Denver, essentially Hackett was hired because that's going to get us Aaron Rodgers. And I can't fault John Elway for that either. I can't blame him for that. It's just a damn shame when I see something like this in regards to Eric Bieniemy and his resume. And then you put that up against Nathaniel Hackett's resume, because the great Aaron Rodgers hasn't been in a Super Bowl since 2010. And Hackett wasn't even an offensive coordinator in the National Football League at that particular moment in time. He didn't get to Buffalo until 2013. And so for him to end up getting a head coaching job, okay, when he had Aaron Rodgers and him in combination with Matt LaFleur hasn't been able to get you over the hump, and you just scored 10 points in an NFC divisional playoff game on your home turf in inclement weather where you were supposed to be at a decided advantage against the San Francisco 49ers team that, oh, by the way, was playing on a short week and had Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, and the special teams scored. The defense for Green Bay held you to 6 points, and your offense can't generate more than 10 points. And a couple of weeks later, you get a head coaching job. But Eric Bieniemy, with those qualifications, doesn't get the job. I'm telling you right now, as a black man, it is sickening. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.